Yeah, we got it up close.
This true talent.
And personal. It's just a way. You can do it. Oh man. Focus. Breathe.
Oh
yeah. Like a lady.
That
like
is
a
grace,
lady.
my friends. Man.
Going on the resume.
Yeah, that should go on your resume.
Question.
Hi, could you talk a little bit about charities that are important to you?
I am involved with a charity that I've been involved with for nearly 10 years, which is the Cambodian Children's Trust. It's this beautiful woman called Tara, who I actually reached out to on Facebook when I was, I think, 19. Maybe 18, and she had just started it, and I just saw her on Facebook. She was just over there, and she was running an orphanage, and since then has been really like paramount in educating people about how orphanages, especially in Cambodia, have actually become sort of more of a tourist spot and a tourist activity, and so now she tries to, the charity is more about, if these kids are displaced, finding ways that they can still stay with their families and not be kind of put in orphanages to then be like used as this like lure for tourists who come to these countries thinking they're doing something good, and actually they're just kind of facilitating an industry of taking kids from their parents. And so yeah, that's a charity that I'm super passionate about.
Yeah, my castmates have all really inspired me. They've all been a part of really amazing charities that I try to donate to. I'm actually, when I get back from this trip, I'm having a meeting to discuss going forward with a couple. But I'm not currently, and I want to learn more about it, but I'm definitely passionate about women and men, but in abusive situations, abusive relationships, and being able to get out and find a safe place and not live through that kind of environment. And families as well, children as well, but abuse, being able to get away from that.
I can relate to that. The idea of really wanting to give that time to a charity and an organization and finding something that also really relates to you at the same time. And the second that I got Vampire Diaries, everyone asked, like, well, what is the charity that you work with? And I, at this point, was 22, and I was like, I'm just trying to figure out who I am. I have no idea how to give back because I don't even know who I am yet. And so at this point, I'm excited I'm really just trying to learn about a lot of charities, and specifically that are really doing great things locally within their community. I love the idea of just, pay it forward, buy someone coffee, be nice. The world is so crazy. Sometimes it gets overwhelming trying to think that you have to save the whole world, and sometimes just being nice to your neighbor can really make a big impact. 2 charities I've recently started working with through a jewelry line that I just started. It's brand new. Still, I'm very excited.
I didn't know this.
I know, I'll talk about stuff. But one of the charities is called Harvest Home, and I was so excited I actually got to go, and it's this home in LA that is in Venice, California, which is a really fancy neighborhood, so I couldn't believe. I was like, wow, look at them in Venice. And then I got to learn about the history of this home, and it's actually been a home for women ever since the early 1900s, and only women have ever lived there, and it's always been for women in need and who just needed a break or was coming from an abusive situation. Yeah, and they actually rented for $1 a year from the church, and it's always been a home for women in need. And right now they currently actually take in women who are homeless and pregnant while they're pregnant and need rehabilitation after their baby is born. So that's a charity I've just gotten to know and be really excited about seeing what they're doing and helping raise awareness and funds for them. Another charity is called Project Q, which is, they started with just going out in like not a van, but essentially a mode of transportation that was turned into a hair studio. And they were giving, and they do continue to do haircuts for transgendered youth that are homeless or just down and out, and people who need just that confidence boosting haircut that helps them get in touch more with the gender that they identify with. And I'm just constantly inspired by people like that. And I don't know, right now I'm just excited to be learning about all these amazing charities and people who are really making those big differences. And I hope to become one of those people in my life. But just using this platform to really help encourage everyone to find those places within their own community, that you don't have to save the world. Just be nice to your neighbor.
Thank you. Bye. Do you have a favorite kick-ass moment on set?
There was one scene, I think it was in season 4, where Haley, in one kind of swoop, like rips someone's heart out, kicks someone in the face, rips their head off, tackles someone. I can't even remember why. There's so many reasons to do all those things on the show.
Was it in the first episode when you saved the Michaelsons?
That's it.
And then Elijah comes in.
That's it. That was fun.
Yeah, it's hard to think of one. I wanted to sometimes not be a witch, only because I wanted to like actually fight, like the werewolves do sometimes and the vampires, and you know, I do a whole lot of like that. But that was also super cool, and sometimes the cool part about it was doing such a little movement and like breaking someone's neck, and I sometimes wish I could do that in real life. But yeah, that was always fun, just playing like that powerful where I could just flick my wrist and someone would go down.
I don't know the episode, but I feel like it was, I just had this vision where I'm like in a street, because I found this video on my phone the other day, like stunt guys come up and I flip one guy, and they actually let me do it, where I just like, he came and grabbed my neck and I just like bent over and he did like a front flip over me, and then I like elbow another guy and punch another guy. And I think it's when like the portal opens, or it's like Halloween and like people come out and all the like bad vampires come back. But yeah, I found a video the other day where I was like, whoa, I was fit.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here and to see you here. I just wondered if you were suddenly able to speak a new language fluently, which one would you choose?
French.
Yeah, I'd have to say French as well, just because I've come across it next to Spanish the most in my life, and I'm terrible at it. I know nothing, and I'd love to know more. But I used to be almost fluent in Spanish when I was about 18, 19 years old, and I just stopped speaking it, and so I lost a lot of it. So every time I go, we're going to Barcelona after this, I try to practice, even though it's really bad, and I would love to get that back to being fluent.
French. I took it in high school and I barely passed class. I mean, I also had my French teacher was from Louisiana, and so it would be like, parlez-vous, with like a good southern accent. But I would love to speak French just to finally pass French in high school.
I know 2 phrases in French, and both of them will yeah. You'll be like, oh, I know those 2 phrases. One is, I'm going to pronounce it really poorly, but if you're French, you can probably understand. Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire pendant le weekend? Which is, what are you doing on the weekend? And after you get that answer, voulez-vous danser avec moi? No! Dance with me!
Dance with me. I'm just thinking of voulez-vous coucher avec moi. It's like, come home with me tonight? That does make sense.
Pronunciation, no one's playing with me.
Thank you very much.
Next.
Hi girls.
Hi.
Okay, I have a question for each one, but first I wanted to say, Phoebe, you're kind of my childhood hero from H2O. I always dreamed about meeting you. It's so nice to see you.
It's nice to meet you.
So my question is, I think I asked Riley the same question. If you could choose any role you would really wanted to play in your life as an actress one day, what would it be?
Definitely the Penelope Cruz role in Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
Okay.
Or Margot Tenenbaum.
Nice. Yeah, I know I gave an answer earlier about Steven photos. Shame to all of you. Shame. No, I know I said earlier just something, you know, dark and deep would be nice, but I love Angelina Jolie in Girl Interrupted. Something like that would be pretty cool to play.
I just want to be Phoebe Buffet from Friends.
Okay.
I just want to rock on my smelly cat. Yeah, I would like to just be silly and laugh.
Okay, thank you. And one more thing, I wanted to ask one more thing. Candice, I know you have a beautiful voice. I'm not going to ask you to sing, but I know you have a really beautiful voice, and I wanted to know what made you choose acting over singing.
Thank you for the compliment, by the way, and thank you for not asking me to sing. I really appreciate that. I hate to say that I fell into acting, because I definitely did put work into it. But I like to say sometimes you find your passion and sometimes your passion finds you. Music is a passion for me, but once it becomes my job, it's not as fun for me anymore. Whereas acting, once it did become my job, I actually loved it 10 times more. And I just hard work and luck, I guess.
Thank you. Did you like the scenes where Caroline had to sing in Vampire Diaries, or were you like, no, not again?
It was just, it was funny. I think it's just funny in a vampire show to be singing. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. My husband helped us like record, so we would literally record some of that stuff just in our house in Denver at the time, like in his studio. So I would like wake up and be like, oh, hey, can you just put this down so they can throw it in the mix? So it was fun. It got to be like a fun little husband and wife project.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi. I was wondering, because I am living by a quote, I was wondering if you guys are living by a quote.
What quote do you live by?
Loving the life you live by. I even have it tattooed on my arm.
I always use the same quote, which is a Gandhi quote, which is be the change you wish to see in the world. I think that applies pretty well to how I try to live my life.
I know I said there's kind of two. The one, be yourselves and don't apologize for it. Again, that doesn't mean be an asshole and don't apologize for it. But just whoever you are, I do believe you were made perfectly, and I find myself and I see other people trying to be something else or trying to for other people, and I think you should just be yourself. And the other one is Only God Knows Why, which is again like, no matter what your religion is, it's just when don't fight your circumstances. Whatever's happening to you usually is for some type of reason or growth, or you're affecting someone else. It's also a lyric to a Kid Rock song, so don't make fun of me. Yeah, sorry about that.
I love you, Brian.
Yes, I know, I'm a strange bird. But yeah, I would say that.
I'm looking for a new mantra. I don't have a good one at the moment. I'm just trying to live more presently and with more gratitude. I think it's easy to get bogged down by the worries of it all and not having it all together. And I used to just always be the person that was like, oh, it'll all work out. And then I think as I've gotten older, the panic of what if it doesn't work out, and mortality and all that fun adult stuff. But yeah, that it's just being like grateful for the things that are there in like present moment. Just saying, wow, you know what? Even if it's raining, the rain smells nice. You know, just trying to appreciate those things. And I don't know. Anyway, got a good mantra. I'm in the buyer's market for one. But yeah, just being present-minded.
I got another one. I teach Riley last year a sentence in Dutch.
Oh no.
I already knew you didn't.
I'm so sorry, I do not remember it, but you're gonna have to say it again and I'll try my best.
And I want to teach it to the...
Yes, let's all learn this.
It's I love you, but in Dutch. So it's ik.
Ik.
How.
Van.
Ja.
Ja. Ik hou van jou.
It's really good.
Hou van jou.
Thanks.
Thank you for reminding me.
Hi, my question is for Phoebe. I was wondering if it still happens a lot that people refer to you as Cleo's story from H2O.
I don't really get referred to as her.
Please, if you the auditorium in silence. Thank you.
And shame.
Yeah, definitely people bring it up at these conventions. Yeah, not as much in my normal life, but definitely at con.
And do you like it, or is it like?
Yeah, it was such a long time ago, but it's always so sweet to be kind of reminded of a period in my life. But yeah, I mean, it was, I think, nearly 12 years ago. It's a long time.
Okay, thank you.
There was a scene in season 4 of the original, where Freya goes up to Hayley and is about to talk to her about her night with Keelan, and it gets interrupted because Hayley realizes that something's happening with her. What do you think that conversation would have been if they...
Remember, I come into the room and you're in the hair rush, and I'm about to tell you that Keelan and I made love for the first time, and I'm really excited.
Worst memory.
I know, I normally do too. It's like really hard to remember a lot of the scenes, but basically I come in to talk to you and I'm like, you won't believe what happened last night, and I get all excited, and then I can tell something's wrong, and you realize that like Hope is in trouble, and so we start talking, but she's asking how would the conversation go if we didn't get interrupted about my love affair.
I don't know. You probably would have told me and I would have been so excited.
I would have told you all the dirty details.
And I would have been like, babe, she's hot.
Yeah, it's true. That's how it goes in real life, so. Yeah.
Sorry, quick question. Yeah, I'm from Australia, so I'm like I was a really big fan of you and Claire and H2O as well. And did you know that you and Claire were going to be in the same TV show for the...
Well, Claire was on the Vampire Diaries beforehand.
Yeah.
So I came in about a year later, so yeah. And then we both, because the spin-off was planned kind of about 6 months before we shot the pilot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Welcome from Australia.
oh yeah, and 2 years ago, I guess.
Question.
Hi. I wanted to ask you if you had, if you're inspired by anyone, because you are really inspiring to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Very, very sweet.
Just kind of going off what you were saying earlier, I think like one person in your normal day tends to inspire me. When I see kindness in general and acceptance, and when I find myself having a conversation with someone and they're like actually listening and not judging but taking it in, I really appreciate that and it inspires me. So kindness, period, love, acceptance, not hatred and stuff like that. And you guys each, I think inspire us, just how great you've been and kind, but that's what I would say.
Yeah, the willingness to be vulnerable. I feel very grateful to have really awesome women in my life who I can be vulnerable with and who will also be vulnerable with me. And so even the fact that you just came up and said, you guys are inspiring, like that's a very warm, vulnerable, inspiring thing to say. So thank you for inspiring us.
Next question.
Hello, Dana from Romania. And first of all, I want to congratulate you, Caroline, for your beautiful daughter.
Thank you.
I have a question for all of you, and the question for you, how was the period with pregnancy in the serial? And for all of you, who you prefer for your partner in the serial, the one who has boys partners, Amy and Caroline?
Yes. The pregnancy was fine. I mean, it was just long. I had to wear a fake belly over my real belly, so because I never looked pregnant enough. So that was a little obnoxious to the child in my own belly. She hated my fake belly. She'd always kick a lot during scenes whenever I had it on. And every pregnant woman loves to have 3 pairs of underwear holding a fake belly on and a mic pack. It's great. So yeah, it was just long, but I had a lot of support from, I worked with a lot of dads and some other moms as well, so just a lot of support. It was a family environment. Yeah. How was it? You wore the belly for so long.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah, it was awful. It's so heavy, it's so uncomfortable. It's just an added annoyance. But I did used to hide my glasses and my phone in it, so it comes with them. Because we're always wearing skinny jeans. I was always so jealous. The boys would have like snacks and all this stuff they could put in their pockets, and we're always in like skin tights jeans. No room for snacks.
No room for snacks. I guess if Freya wasn't in love with Keelan, she'd probably be in love with Haley. It's true. It's true.
My answer is maybe Freya.
See? We should have wrote the show.
No, we're not related.
We're not. We're like, what are we? Sister, kind of sister-in-laws. So it's a little ancestral, but, or it's, I can't say ancestral.
No.
No, I asked them, Caroline and Haley, how was a partner they prefer? They have
Tyler, because he's here in a Trevino respect.
Oh, that was my answer. Freya.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm really sorry we have to end the panel here. I just got told. So thank you very much, ladies. Give it up for her.